This is the Renault Arkana, a car, in a way, even more unusual than it looks. Here's why.
In 2021, a coupe SUV shouldn't really surprise anyone. Call it a nicer Pontiac Aztek or a BMW X6 wannabe. We've seen this body shape on Audi whatever recent Sportback and on Mercedes GLC and GLE coupe variants as well. There is even something similar in the Renault price range, and that's the quirky Citroen C4. But here we arrive at a but.
It is difficult to classify the Renault Arkana. This coupe SUV is larger than Renault's B crossover Captur and C crossover Kadjar. It's bigger than its closest rival, the Citroen C4, and it's even longer than the standard wheelbase Renault Scenic. You have to go Grand Scenic if you want a longer car. But the Renault Arkana is made on the CMF-B platform along with the Clio, Captur or the Nissan Juke.
As far as external dimensions are concerned, the Arkana's closest rival would be the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, which is still made on a Mitsubishi platform. Still, because having joined the Renault-Nissan Alliance, Mitsubishi launched the new Outlander on the CMF-C platform, shared with Renault Megane, Kadjar, Scenic, Espace. The Renault Arkana boot is large. It's 513 liters with the conventional powertrain and 480 liters with the hybrid powertrain. This is the latter. More about it in a moment.
The boot is not perfect, so let's get that out of the way first. There are no shopping bag hooks or any anchor points, no levers to fold the rear seats, and this is a deep boot, no 12-volt socket and no power tailgate. But this is really 480 liters. Ever since Renault claimed the new Clio has almost 400 liters, I always measure Renault trunks, and this one is what they say it is. Spoiler alert, the Clio boot is much less than they claim. There's also a double floor under which you can barely squeeze the parcel shelf, fold the rear seats with the double floor up, and you get a flat loading area, drop the floor for more space, and you can still slide things up the hump. Drop it completely and I can shut the boot with my huge case on its side, something I couldn't do in the BMW X4 because I couldn't drop the floor over there.
The doors cover the sills, which is brilliant because you don't get your legs dirty getting in and out. In the back it's strange. The Arkana is somewhat wider than the Captur, but at arm's height it doesn't feel like it. The same goes for legroom. The Arkana has 8 centimeters longer wheelbase than the Captur, but you don't feel it in the back here. I'm 175 centimeters tall and the headroom is also not amazing. It would be worse if the backrests were more upright.
Okay, I'm nitpicking. 2 average-sized adults will be comfortable back here. They'll also have a small space for bottles in the door bins and another one here in the cup holders and the armrest. They will charge their devices from these USB ports or from a 12-volt socket. They will be chilled or heated because they have air vents. However, there is no ski hatch.
The driving position is quite high, the seat is in its lowest position now, and yes, the seats are electrically operated, but without memory, that function is useless. If there are 2 drivers who differ in height, it's quicker to adjust the seats manually. Renault could drop the electric seats and cut the price by $1 or $2.
The cockpit layout is similar to that found in the Clio, the Captur or the Zoe, and Arkana has the digital instrument panel like the Zoe. The Clio and the Captur still have some traditional, let's say, gauges for fuel and temperature, whereas the Zoe and the Arkana have a fully digital instrument cluster. Besides the trip computer information, you can also display multimedia, drive modes and sat-nav information. And yes, Android Auto navigation is also displayed on the digital instrument panel, although if you want the full panoramic map view, this is reserved only for the OEM sat-nav.
Which takes us to the 9-inch central display. Lesser models get a 7-inch display with or without sat-nav. The first time I got to test the EasyLink infotainment system was in the Renault Clio, and I was surprised at how intuitive it is. All settings are logically grouped, You can assign your favorite functions to the home screen. Driver aids are displayed like in a VW. Yes, this is the only thing VW got right in the new infotainment. Of course, there is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Below the central display are physical buttons and dials for basic car functions and climate control. And at the bottom are USB ports as well as a 12-volt socket and a smartphone cubby with a wireless charger. However, if you want to use Android Auto, you'll need to plug the phone in anyway, and then it won't fit in the cubby. The drive selector for the hybrid version is a shift-by-wire affair. Non-hybrid models get a regular shifter. Auto hold stays on until I turn it off, rather than until I shift into reverse or turn the car off like in some Japanese and Korean brands.
Compared to the Renault Captur I reviewed more than a year ago, the gear selector lever is solid and there are no problems shifting from drive to reverse and back.
There are decent cup holders, small storage under the armrest and small and recessed glove box. No, it is not air-conditioned. Door pockets are good for 1.5-liter bottles. The Renault Arkana was launched with a 140 horsepower mild hybrid and a 145 horsepower full hybrid. In late 2021, a 160 horsepower mild hybrid will join the lineup. The mild hybrids are 1.3 turbocharged petrol motors, and the full hybrid is a 1.6 normally aspirated engine combined with an electric motor.
The full hybrid is around 100 kilograms heavier than the mild hybrids. It can also carry slightly less load and it can tow less. The Arkana is no towing champion regardless of the powertrain.
The mild hybrid can tow up to 900 kilograms braked and 705 kilograms unbraked. The full hybrid can tow 760 braked and 750 unbraked. But I assume you're not buying the Arkana for towing. Bike rack on the tow hitch is more likely.
How is it to drive? The hybrid powertrain is best around the city, where you mostly don't hear the petrol engine. This is a series parallel hybrid, which means the engine can act as a generator or power the front wheels, depending on what's the better option. As a generator, it can get loud. Up to about 100 kilometers per hour, the Arkana feels punchy. Feels because the numbers suggest otherwise. Renault claims the Arkana will do 0 to 100 km per hour in 10.8 seconds. I got over 11.
80 to 120 km per hour should take 8.5 seconds. I got below 8. Interestingly enough, in sport as well as in normal mode, just before reaching 120 km per hour, there's this moment of hesitation. Perhaps this is when the petrol engine stops generating electricity and starts powering the wheels. Assuming you're not racing from every lights, the 4.8 liters per 100 kilometers combined is within reach. The best I got was around 4 liters in the city. Give it the beans and you're above 6.
The Arkana is pleasantly set up. It's neither too nervous nor too boring. The suspension is firm enough to be engaging, but also evens out the bumps nicely. I suppose the 18-inch rims instead of something bigger help. Although the Arkana has around 20 centimeters ground clearance, it's less than 160 centimeters high. That's less than the Hyundai Ioniq 5 or the Nissan Qashqai. The center of gravity remains low for the car not to roll too much in the corners and leave the ground clearance for the city jungle. This is a front-wheel drive car only, so keep it off the grass.
I like the direct steering and that the brakes have decent feel despite energy recuperation by the hybrid system. Soundproofing is okay, visibility is adequate for this body type. This test car only has a backup camera, but a 360 camera is available as an option. There is also automatic parking, which is the worst I've tested since my 2018 Ford Fiesta review. The system almost managed to get me stuck perpendicular to the alley from which the car was supposed to reverse into a parking space between two other cars.
At least the driver aids are okay. The adaptive cruise control and the active lane assist help rather than intervene. I feel I can trust them more than in Japanese cars.
Prices of the Renault Arkana start at around 28,000 euro. This kind of money gets you a decently spec'd Citroen C4. A mid-spec Arkana will set you back at least 30 grand. This test car in RS line trim with a hybrid drivetrain and options costs about 38,000.
Price aside, the Renault Arkana is a really pleasant car. I had a great time with it and in it. Like the Citroen C4, the Arkana also could use all-wheel drive to make those winter ski trips a bit safer. But as far as everyday use is concerned, what's not to like? And how do you like the Renault Arkana? Let me know in the comment section below.
If you like my sarcastic, down-to-earth and possibly mildly amusing car reviews, join me every Friday at 3 p.m. Central European Time, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video as it helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.